All right, guys, my name is KarQ. Today we have another extremely subjective tier list. The support duos. The last time I did this was season 6 when Illari was released, and one of the comments actually was kind of nice where you averaged out the rank of each hero in its current meta based on like the color, where red was weighted as 5, orange is 4, light orange is 3, and you see how frequent a hero is. The higher the score, the more synergistic they can be, which gives you a better perspective than just like maybe isolating and narrowing down like, well, KarQ, this specific Brig plus Lifeweaver comp is better than how you rated it. I mean, like I said, this is subjective. And honestly, at the end of the day, who cares? Some of these synergies can be terribly suboptimal, but as long as you punish enemy mistakes, like it doesn't really matter. This is just a fun little opinion piece, so let's get started. God, look how many iterations we have now. Woo! Let's start from the top. We have Anna Baptiste. I think Anna Baptiste is not bad. It works in ranked. I mean, it does have a little bit of synergy because you can amp matrix and let your Ana shoot through it and stuff. I'm actually gonna bump it back up to flexible and decent. I think that's how I graded it in the last one, now that I think about it. Nothing really changed. The biggest thing is obviously Ana and Bap are main supports, or not main supports in that sense, but main healers, where they get a lot of their ult charge by pumping heals, and they could be cannibalizing each other. But that being said, if you run this comp, you could have one of your supports actually go off and DPS pretty heavy and have less focus on heals, so you can kind of like balance that out a bit, maybe not cannibalize each other as much, especially if the demand for healing isn't as high, especially with one tank. But like, you know, you have the flexibility of Sleep Dart, Nade, you don't have to use them very defensively because you have Bap to back you up with the quick regen burst healing, which gets amplified with the Nade if needed, and you have like the Bap lamp to save you as a pseudo's defensive ultimate. It's actually like not bad at all in ranked. It works and it has some small synergy and could be like a flexible and decent option more often than you think, especially for your average player. Maybe not so much in high ranks when good Ana players and good Bap players know how to maximize their kits. You're better off actually playing better synergies. Most high rank players will play stuff in the top 3 or top 4 here, but like you're obviously gonna have one tricks, and this is your best bet to kind of work around them when you get down to like the yellow, green, and the blue stuff. Ana Brig, really strong in a few comps. Not much to say about this. Synergizes incredibly well with Winston. That's probably one of his best comps. The Ana's got the long range heals. You play for Nano, your Brig protects you. Like this has been a tried and true backline duo for the longest time. Nothing has changed here. Ana Illari could be like a pretty decent poke option. I'll put it at flexible and decent. Not as great as it used to be. I think it kind of fell out of favor of some other stuff, especially with Juno being released and getting rushed down. These two are, you know, other than Illari being pretty mobile, Ana may need a bit more protection now, especially because again, you have the Lucio and the Junos to close the gap on you. So I'll bring it down here. It's pretty flexible and decent. Again, there's so many damn duos that I can't spend forever explaining them. I'll try to do like a one-liner for each. Ana Juno, I think it's flexible and decent. I don't actually think it's as great as people say. Like when Juno is locked in, I lock in Ana specifically because I like playing Ana and it can be pretty good. But it does get run over a little bit, and I think it gets beaten by Juno Brig, which we'll get to in a bit, which is probably the best comp in the game at its current state. It's decent enough for me in rank that I play it because those are my best 2 heroes if Juno is locked in. But it's good, you know, Juno speeds you up, can do a lot of the healing. Ana can focus on DPSing, especially armor targets, and chip away at that because Ana does true damage against armor in this over the past few seasons. And you have that CC threat to slow down some people that are coming in. It's actually pretty decent, yeah, so we'll keep it here. On a Kiri go, same idea. Flexible and decent. This has been, this was higher in the past, but I think I'm putting it down just a tier now. This is kind of like the solo ranked generalists where like you can't go wrong. You know, Kiriko's got that flexibility with like the defensive abilities, kind of like with Suzu, but with like, you know, Lamp for Baptiste, and then you have Ana being the staple, but Kiriko can take pretty strong offensive angles and play off of the Ana pretty well. And you have 2 great initiation ultimates with Nano and Kitsune Rush, which are pretty big drivers in winning ranked games, which is just taking like the proactive ultimates and just like playmaking with them. So I'm gonna put it here. Ana Lifeweaver. I'm gonna bump it down. Ana Lifeweaver here. It's not that bad, especially now with Lifeweaver being able to shoot his thorns a bit more. You could run this as like a suit, like a sort of like a pokey style comp if you really want to. I think I've tried this a few times on Circuit Royale where we just cut the Bap and cut the Illari, cut the Zen, and just play Ana Lifeweaver poke. Because obviously with Thorn poke, it's actually pretty good on narrow hallways. Like Lifeweaver poke is pretty underrated. and he doesn't have to primarily focus on healing because he builds that heal up naturally, and it kind of opens the gate to pressure the enemy Sig shield if they are playing Sig comps, and then the Ana can look for nades here. It's not terrible. Actually, I take it back. It's flexible and decent enough that I could probably go here, to be honest with you. You're going to find a common trend where Ana pretty much covers most of your bases here because she's a pretty well-rounded hero. That's the thing with these tier lists. Ana Lucio, same thing. I think like high like pro teams still kind of prefer this in some instances. It's flexible, decent enough for your rank purposes. We'll leave it there. Ana Mercy, I'm going to bump it down here. This might be your first iteration in this tier. It's not terrible. This is not my favorite composition. Kind of Mercy and the DPS kind of do their own thing while I'm left to fend for myself as Ana in the backline a lot of the times. It can work in ranked, especially if like the Mercy plus the Pocket are doing and creating a lot of space and there's no pressure on me. And it works really well if they have no flankers, no tracers, no Sombras, no Genjis, no Dooms, no Balls, no Winstons, no Divas. Where if I'm not the target, like I'm chilling, to be honest with you. But it doesn't have fantastic natural synergy, but it works in ranked. I play this one pretty often because there's a lot of Mercy players, a lot of Ana players, aka me. I'm the one locking in Ana, and if I have a Mercy player, hey, we'll just make it work. It's all good. Ana Moira, I don't think many people play this in the high ranks. This is a metal rank kind of comp where like Moira ends up being like a pretty common theme here, and it's a metal rank special where, I mean, it works because Moira just gets good baseline value, so does Ana. So, hey, you can still win games here. We'll keep it there. Ana Zen, I don't like Ana Zen anymore. Does it even work in ranked? I don't know. I think the game has sped up so much where if you have two vulnerable backlines with no protection against Juno now, I actually think this is kind of suboptimal nowadays in this meta. First iteration in the blue, but at the end of the day, who cares? Who needs natural synergy? If they don't run Juno in speed, I mean, you can still win games, but if Juno is being played almost every game right now, it'll be a little suboptimal, but who cares, man? Just play it if you want. Okay, Bat Brig. I think I actually had this lower back then, but I'm actually going to put it at flexible and great. It's actually way better than I give it credit for. I scrimmed with this comp. It is incredibly sturdy and hard to break through, especially because Brig is in really good state right now. Bap is a staple, still fallen off a little bit, but like still not bad to pick in rank specifically because he can have that proactive damage, and you have to burst through the Brig, her armor, all her packs, her heals, and you got to burst through Bap and his lamp. Like, it's really sturdy, really sturdy. Bap Illari, really strong in one specific poke comp with Sigma. I think they played this back then with Orisa, which is why I used to have it higher in a few comps, but Orisa's not really a staple pick right now. Sigma's still pretty okay, so it's like this is an option for like heavy poke, so we'll put that there. Bap Juno, I played it against. This is actually really strong with a Ramatra comp that I played against. This was incredibly hard to get through. Like when they want to go, they speed their ram in and just go, and then like Bap has that backup lamp, and with like ram blocking, this is an incredible space maker with that specific brawl. I'm sure it works with other brawl too, but that was like one pretty egregious example that was so hard to break through. You know what? It probably does work with Ryan and other stuff too. I'm actually gonna bump it back up to strong in a few comps. There we go. Bap Illari, it's pretty flexible. I'd say it's decent. I wouldn't say it's great right now because Kiri's kind of been like falling off a little bit, but it's flexible and decent and ranked, good enough for you to do well. It has a little bit of natural synergy. Two really annoying defensive abilities to play through, and ranked is gonna be, yeah, annoying. Bap Lifeweaver, I actually think this is a little underrated. It has some natural synergy, to be honest with you. They're both can be played in a poke comp. Bap is a poke hero. Lifeweaver is technically a poke hero, and pockets people, and then you build your windows, you build your trees, and you play off each other. It's pretty decent. We'll put it there. Bap Lucio, really strong in a few comps. Has been for a lot of seasons. Can be replaced with Juno, but I think Juno may not be, like they're still waiting on her, but I think one of the articles said like Lucio still outperforms Juno on specifically Flashpoint, but Juno does better on Control now, was one of their internal stats that they found out. So, you know, if you really wanted to play Ram Brawl on New Junk City or Suravasa, I mean, this is probably still pretty acceptable, so there you go. Bap Mercy. Bap has enough tools to save himself compared to like Ana Mercy, where I wouldn't say it's like natural synergy. They kind of just like, there's one offensive and one really defensive and like supporter for the other DPSs, while you as the Bap are really supporting the front line. while offering like a good damage output from the support slot. I'd say it's flexible and decent enough in rank that we'll keep it here, sure. Bap Moira, this feels like a metal rank comp, but it might have more power than you think. I just don't think Bap is as common as Ana in metal ranks. I think a lot of people just like playing her. I actually think Bap is, this might be okay in ranked, just doing two separate things. Flanking as Moira maybe, chucking your damage orb through the window to kind of make it tick a little faster. You have your defensive to kind of like back up the Moira, and like in case the Moira's not playing with the team, then Coalescence is a pretty strong tempo ultimate. Not my favorite. I don't think I'd ever played this in my ranks. Maybe I'll put it in the metal rank special. There you go. Bap Zen. Bap Zen, classic strong poke. Similar to the other poke, but this one's like just an alternative version. And Zen got buffed this season. He's got his breakpoints changed with Discord Orb. Being the same, but his damage went from 48 to 50, which makes it from, I think, 5 body shots down to 4 body shots, or now you count 2 headshots kills, 1 headshot, 2 body shots, etc., etc. I think Zen's actually gotten a little bit better in some specific scenarios, so we'll keep that there. Illari Brig. I mean, Brig is just fantastic to support another support right now. Probably put it here. It's probably flexible and decent enough. There you go. Now, Brig and Juno. This is the hot topic of the season. Probably your best comp in the game at this current time. So an easy slot. Works with Winston, works with Diva, works with your Brawl. You got your speed, you got your defense, you got your armor. That's currently still bugged on Brig, and allows her to be a lot more durable than she actually is. Maybe it gets nerfed by the time this video comes out, but we'll see. Let's move on. Kiri Brig. I don't really think Brig is like necessary to help save Kiri, because Kiri is naturally a pretty safe hero. Like, this synergizes really well because you can accentuate Juno's strengths by having Brig back them up, but Kiri naturally kind of can play on her own and doesn't really need the Brig, so you just basically only pick Brig to like help deter flankers or dive heroes if it really becomes a problem. But like, who are they diving? If there's no vulnerable DPSs to dive, like, what's Brig's role here when Kiri's naturally so safe? I mean, it's not bad. It probably works in ranked. They don't really synergize, but it's winnable because the heroes are just good individually. Okay, Brig Lifeweaver. I call this a metal rank special, and I feel like I don't see this that often, but a lot of comments from the season 6 one said this was better than where I graded it. So I'm gonna take your word for it. Apparently it has more synergy than I gave it credit for. I just don't happen to see this duo ever, so I had no weighting on this. In fact, there's so many damn iterations that like, and I play a specific subset of heroes, right? I play Ana, Illari, Bap, Kiri, Zen, Juno. So like, the rest of them are like what I see on the enemy team, and there's some heroes that are just very uncommon at the rank I play at that maybe I'm wrong on the assessment, but like, if I don't see them, then like, are they really that high in the tier here? Everything down here is a bit much more subjective. But anyways, my opinion of this being the metal rank special was apparently a little too low for the grading, and I kind of see where it's at, where, you know, maybe this is better than I thought. So I'll bump it up and take your word for it, to be honest with you. So let's put it up here. Not bad, can probably work in rank. There you go. Brig Lucio as well. I called this suboptimal in the last video 6 seasons ago. Just don't see it anymore. This was a thing in 2022 April in the Overwatch League with the Junker Queen comp. Before Overwatch 2 was released in the public, remember that season when they played Overwatch 2 for the league before everybody else got to play it? It was Lucio Brig only at that time with Junker Queen, because it was bugged, because Queen was able to give these heroes double overhealth shout at the time, which gave almost 200 HP to each hero. It's different now because shout only gives 50 HP to a teammate, but that means with 200 HP shout, you didn't need like raw healing output. You just sped him in, and Brig gets the Brawl, gets the Inspire passive, and you get the Lucio aura, and you just kind of AoE them down. But nowadays, probably suboptimal. It does have a little bit of natural synergy, so maybe we'll bump it up 1 to the metal rank special, but not my favorite. Not my favorite. Brig Mercy. I don't know. Is Brig Mercy just even a thing? Maybe people will always be locking in Mercy. People are always locking in Brig now because she's good. I just don't see it being like very good. Pretty suboptimal. Like, you pack your Mercy and like, and then she kind of just floats around. If the Mercy made a mistake, you can save them. But like in the other case, like, Juno's allowed to play more aggressive because you have the extra packs and stuff like that. But can Mercy play more aggressive with the Brig pack? Maybe to like go for a res, but that's like one instance. I don't know. Feels a little suboptimal to me, so I'll leave it there. Brig Moira, metal rank special, can totally work. Could totally work. They just have fantastic baseline value, so don't get me wrong, but you'll just see this in metal rank, so boom. All right, with Brig and Zen, before this season, I would grade it lower because this used to be a thing with ball comps, but I think some OWCS teams started ideating with this again with ball on this patch, and it's like really good again, simply because obviously Brig, again, bugged with the armor. It makes her super durable, and Zen was buffed this season with the breakpoint changes with Discord. Discord's a little hard. Like, this comp used to work when you were able to read Discord the same person, but because Discord, you can't put it on the same person multiple times, it fell off. But I heard some teams in Asia were kind of cooking with this on ball, so this may be really strong on that one comp and is like a dark horse kind of comp once again, thanks to those changes to the heroes and how other things have kind of fallen off a little bit. But like if Zen is caught, this is like really reserved for people who know how to play it. If you can't execute this, like this is just gonna fall over, but that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, Illari, Juno. I actually played this a bit, and I don't think it's that bad at all. I think it's pretty flexible in ranked. It's pretty decent enough to net you some wins. Both fantastic. These are just strong solo queue heroes. Okay, what do we got here? Illari, Kiriko. This can fit in so many comps now that I think about it. Probably because Kiriko is your generalist support, which allows you to play in anything, and then Illari just goes on an off angle and it's just the most annoying thing in the world. Like I played against a team on Numbani, and the Illari was just super off angling, and the Kiri was just keeping everybody pretty damn safe on the side with Suzu and stuff. I don't know, you got both strong initiation ultimates. You can argue either or, but I'll put it at flexible and decent. You don't see it enough for me to argue that it's great. This I saw enough and scrimmed it, so we'll keep it there. Sorry, I keep changing my mind like I'm changing clothes, but welcome to tier lists. Here we go. Illari, Lifeweaver. Actually, this one is more flexible and great than people give credit for. Did I say this in the last season 6 video? Let me check my old tier list. Oh, I did. This was actually run by NRG. I think Rack Attack, and I forgot who the other support was. Was it Cal? They were running this duo where Rack was on Weaver and maybe Cal was on Illari. They kind of just have kind of natural synergy in a sense where, you know, they're both poke heroes, right? Lifeweaver pokes with his thorns, Illari pokes, but then Lifeweaver can have that focus where he's pumping heals and reacting to things that are happening, while Illari is supplementing the team's DPS like crazy. And if needed, if you have the Illari beam someone, Illari's beam is one of the highest HP per second abilities in the game. It's at 115 HPS if like the tank happens to be low. And with the Lifeweaver pump and like a life grip if needed, or even like throwing up a tree of life, like it's actually pretty hard to burst through someone being pocketed by this. And they have both good pokes, so that they can't even close the gap very well if they've done right. Better than people think. It just so happens that nobody really plays enough Lifeweaver to justify it, but if you have this specific combo, it's pretty lethal. It's pretty damn lethal. Illari, Lucio. I mean, Lucio's a little pokey, but like half his value is speeding them in. You don't really need to speed Illari in at all because she kind of does her own thing in a lot of cases. It kind of lacks natural synergy, but I guess it could work in ranked. Probably because Lucio lost 25 HP in season 12 and his like green Oreos are stronger, so his poke is better, but his survivability is lower. So you could play a little slower and poke with your Illari, speed in as needed, then Illari can maybe quickly get a different angle and supplement it. Illari can pocket. Might be just a ranked thing. I won't see this ever probably in a pro play, but here we go. Lifeweaver, Mercy. Kind of the same thing. Less with the poke thing, but they do their own thing. You don't even need the Mercy to like play with the DPS and pocket them. Mercy can just pocket the Illari, so maybe some synergy there, but you're kind of just stuck on like one angle. Especially if the Illari is solo off angling and your Mercy is sitting with you, who the hell's healing the rest of the team? Probably don't want to do that, but it's an option if you're just like a backline Illari for some strange reason. But I mean, it's actually not backline, but you kind of play with the tank Illari, not off angle, where the Mercy supporting you, and then you can beam your tank if needed. If you're in beam range, and Mercy can go fuck off somewhere else. Yeah, not natural synergy, but because it's solo queue, that's fine. Sure. Illari, Moira. Don't think I ever see this. Probably in metal ranks only. Lots of Moira here. Illari Zen. Wouldn't say it's super flexible and fantastic, but it's a decent poke option if you want. Sure. But then again, like if you play this, opt for this kind of poke with like Sig or whatever, you kind of have to force Illari to play with the team rather than playing to her strength, which is looking for those off angles. So maybe it's just not as synergistic as you think, but it could work. So we'll keep it there. Okay, on to all the Juno. There was one iteration of Juno because we went alphabetically, or 2 of them, but now J, we're at Juno. Lots of Juno stuff. This is the meaty and the good stuff. Okay, Juno Kiriko. Again, Kiriko's the flex queen. Juno, arguably pretty flexible. Kiri can actually complement her a little bit by like saving her with Suzu and looking out for her. And then you get the initiation with Kitsune, which allows Juno to speed up without pressing the abilities, but then you get super fast cooldowns with the Kitsune. Hey, pretty flexible, not that bad. It's just outshined by a lot of the other Juno comps. You don't see it that often, but honestly, you know what? I'm actually might grade this higher. It's actually pretty damn flexible in solo queue and pretty great. So we'll keep it there. Juno Lifeweaver. I haven't actually played this that much. I don't think it's terrible by any means, but like Juno actually has pretty crazy healing output right now. I don't know if it's necessary to play Weaver with this and to be reactive to save somebody when you're already just so damn proactive naturally. Maybe they often offset and balance each other in that sense. But when one goes in, Weaver isn't necessarily super following in. He's kind of just waiting for something to happen. If you pull somebody back while you're initiating in with the speed, because they made a mistake, it can save your mistakes, but it's not like a natural synergy, but it could probably work in ranked, so we'll keep it there, sure. Okay, an interesting one that I wanted to talk about. We can talk about this one a bit more. Juno Lucio, the double speed comp. Has a bit of natural synergy if you sequence this, but it's just like not my favorite. People thought this would be like the giga speed comp, but you'll find that if you play this, you're not spacing out the speeds very often very well, because you end up like having the Lucio have to amp heal anyways. And like it kind of lacks a bit of firepower, if you ask me. I've played this a decent amount because, again, people, especially with Juno coming up, people are like, this has to be meta. This is really good. But I've never liked it. I think I've won a few games with it, but I've also lost pretty hard with this. Maybe we're not executing it correctly. Maybe an OWCS team can kind of show us how it's done. But for now, in ranked, it's not bad. It works. It has synergy if done right. So I can't really like hone in on this too much, so I'm just bumping it up simply because it doesn't match this description. But it's like, okay, you can run this with a bunch of any sort of brawl, even any dive, so it's flexible in that sense and decent enough. So we'll keep it here. Juno Mercy. I have played this a decent amount, obviously because I'm locking in Juno every game. I've seen every iteration for the most part. It's not bad, but it doesn't play to Juno's strengths as well, because like Mercy typically pockets, well, I take that back. Juno technically pockets, Mercy technically pockets either the slow hit scan DPSs like Ashe and stuff, or you fly with like Echo and Pharah, and those heroes don't naturally need the speed synergy from Juno. The Juno can help speed up the rest of the team while the other flying heroes kind of like take their angles and stuff. So in that sense, it could work. So I have seen it with like, you know, Juno, Mercy plus Echo comps, and we kind of just roll with that. I would say it's better than not bad. Yeah, I'll put it at flexible and decent. It's okay. I don't hate this one. Juno Moira. Believe it or not, I have not played this. I've actually barely seen any Moira in the past, in this entire season. I actually have no idea where to place this. It probably actually works in ranked better than you think, probably because Moira did get buffed this season and Coalescence is pretty strong. You would not run this with the current like Juno plus Diva or Winston, and Juno Diva was like meta for a bit, so like why would you play Moira with that when they're not Brawl? But this could work with Ramatra or Orisa or Ryan or whatever, and just play a bit slower and then go with the speed, and then Moira kind of follows along. It's probably not bad. Juno Zen. Juno Zen can work, but it's a very high risk, high reward comp. You're both extremely vulnerable. Obviously Zen is vulnerable. Juno doesn't have any defensive abilities to save him, and neither does Zen have anything to save Juno, right? There's no lamp, no Suzu, no anti-nade, no sleep dart, no nothing. Zen has played a bit more this season. I haven't seen this combo, so I'm gonna put it at metal rank special. Works if there's no like dive execution, which is probably metal ranks, where like obviously you'll have some good tracers and good Winstons or whatever, but in general they're not really challenged enough, and they can probably just survive and just continue to add output to your team and probably win the game off of that. So we'll keep that there, sure. Kiriko Lifeweaver kind of goes in the same sense earlier with like being poke. I'm just gonna put this on metal rank. I actually have no freaking clue. I don't think I've ever played this iteration of support duos. I'll put that there. Lucio Kiriko, still pretty flexible, pretty great. I wouldn't say it's a really strong compared to how it used to be in previous seasons. I'm pretty sure I rated this even higher because this used to be like the bread and butter for Winston, Doomfist, anything. Lucio Kiri was like the go-to, but with Kiri being nerfed and Lucio being a bit squishy at 225 and Juno being in the game, it's still pretty flexible. Like it's still fantastic in almost every tank composition. Any tank you pick, if you don't know what to pick, this probably works. So we'll put that there. But just kind of falling behind indirectly thanks to some small nerfs and some changes elsewhere in the game. Kiriko and Mercy falling down a little bit for the same reasons. Still pretty flexible and decent. Generalist Kiriko and then Mercy paired with any of the damage heroes. Because Kiriko is a versatile playstyle. You can heal bot. You can take off angles offensively if the Mercy is like just paired super hard and not healing anybody else, then you change your focus and you can adapt to your game situation. So for solo queue, we'll keep it at decent. Honestly, Kiriko and Moira, probably not bad, to be honest with you. No natural synergy, but these are like strong baseline solo queue heroes. So yeah, we'll put that there. Same with like Kiri Zen, I think. Really strong poke. Kiriko can save the Zen. I wouldn't say it's like super flexible. Well, definitely more synergy than Kiri Moira. It could be pretty flexible and decent with the Zen buffs. I haven't actually played this yet, this patch, because everybody's just playing Juno, but on paper, I'm gonna grade it here, sure. Lifeweaver Mercy, I'm gonna stick this right at the bottom. I have played against this. It can be very annoying because like I played against it where like literally nothing died, right? Because they're incredibly defensive heroes. But like they're so passive, they never die, but like in a lot of senses, they never really kill anything. Unless they just win the war of attrition, the enemy team just completely blows all their cooldowns thinking they can kill, then they don't, and then they just win by them just being in a bad spot there. Then maybe. But yeah, who needs synergy if they make mistakes like that? You're just capitalizing on that. But in general, these are the two most reactive supports in the game, and you're just pairing them up. Right? There's no proactivity. There's no Illari ult. There's no like tempo beat. There's no BAP window, no Kitsune rush, no Juno ult, no nano boost, no BAP window. Nothing to go. It's purely let's wait and see what happens before we res someone, before we Lifeweaver tree, before we pull somebody out. Maybe Valkyrie's a little bit more proactive than Tree of Life, to be honest with you. But again, not optimal, but like who cares? You can still win with this if the enemy team just kind of makes a mistake. So we'll keep that there. Lifeweaver Moira, it's probably a metal rank special. A little bit more proactive. Moira Coalescence and Damage Orb can be pretty annoying to chip people down, and they can go with that. We'll grade it one higher. Same with Lifeweaver Zen, probably metal rank special, but with the buffs to Zen and both being pretty strong poke, not bad. Has a little bit of synergy. I'm gonna regrade this if anybody skips to the end. Little to no natural synergy, but has a little bit. There you go, boom. Lucio Lifeweaver. Kind of feels like they do opposite thing. I mean, they can just sit there and poke, but like the strength of like initiating with Lucio, with Weaver, nah, suboptimal. Next, Lucio Mercy, suboptimal. Next, Lucio Moira, pretty good actually, in Brawl. It's flexible and decent, we'll put it there. I think it kind of gets outshined by Lucio Kiri's flexibility and like Lucio Baps, which is like this, the power level goes up with the right comp. But this is not bad. This is an alternative if you don't know how to play Bap, so we'll keep it there. Lucio Zen is just kind of falling behind in Overwatch 2 compared to how it used to be in Overwatch 1. We'll put that there. Mercy Moira. Battle rank special, actually. I don't know why it took me so long. I forgot. Every gold game I used to watch, I used to just have these two heroes every single game. Can totally still win, but like they just do their own thing. Lucio Zen, or sorry, Mercy Zen used to be a comp in Overwatch 1. Suboptimal now. Keep that there. Moira Zen, not a suboptimal. Moira can play a little, throw a little heal orb and kind of like just piss on the Zen a little bit. If you discord somebody and then you chuck a damage orb. Yeah, it feels like a metal rank comp. All right, that is my support duos tier list. And again, incredibly subjective. I was kind of just thinking off the top of my head. Probably if I cooked a little harder and laid out some more theory on each of them and probably like labeled my tiers a little bit better, maybe we could have like had a couple of ifs, buts, and in-betweens, but this is just a rough tier list. This is just a fun piece. If you have any ideas in the comments on like better ways to label it and grade it, I'd love to know. Because I added, if you just skip to the end here, I had no synergy here, but then I was just like, well, this has a little synergy, but doesn't quite fit here. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any like grievances where it's like not just one, like you can argue +1 or -1 for most of these, and that's fine. But if like one of them are really egregious, where it's like I put one as a metal rank special, but you really think it's like red or like high orange, let me know. But other than that, if it's + or -1, it's whatever. Just my opinion. All right, that's enough of me yapping. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.